Ahoy sailors, welcome to another day in paradise. My name's Griff and I want you guys to have an excellent vacation. And with having an excellent vacation, I wanted to talk about in today's video how your Alaska cruise could potentially be in jeopardy if you did not pay attention to what's going on in the industry. Now, check this. I get a lot of questions about cruising to Alaska. And while this video is going to briefly touch on a few of them, I wanted to share with some things that people are asking me. Things like, how can I get a discount on my Alaska cruise? Where can I find discounts on cruise excursions to Alaska? And after all those questions rolled in, here we are. So for those of you that are new to the channel, we have cruised to Alaska twice at this point. We did one cruise on the Norwegian Encore. It was a fabulous cruise. It had great food, it had great drinks. The entertainment was absolutely amazing. We also did a cruise with Ovation of the Seas with Royal Caribbean. Both fantastic ships. I think you're gonna have a good time either way. And if you stay all the way to the end of this video, I'll probably give you guys a tip on which cruise I enjoyed the most when it comes to Alaska. And for our diehard fans that watch the channel religiously, you probably know the answer. But for those that are new that are coming in, I'll share with you guys which one I like the most. That's if you stay all the way to the end of the video. But when people message me asking, hey, how can I find a cheaper cruise deal? Here is the deal, no pun intended. Cruising is back, and with the additional capacity continuing to expand, meaning more cruisers are being able to fulfill the capacity of that ship, you're going to start to notice the price demand of Alaska sailings, which are very, very fun, but that means they're very, very popular. You're going to start seeing that expand, meaning the price of demand of that cruise, it's just economics. It's going to increase. Let's add on fuel charges. Now with the Ukraine war and the prices of gases just continually raising, that's going to make the cost of your Alaska cruise even more. Also, if you take into account the panini, which is the 2020 lockdown, the shutdown, and Alaska not being able to book as many cruises as they used to in the past, you're seeing a lot of bookings happening, just continually driving up that cost. I don't think it's a bad thing. I just think it is what it is. And so if you haven't booked your Alaska cruise yet, you may want to book it sooner than you thought. Now, the reason why I'm making this video, on top of getting several questions about Alaska, is that recently we canceled our cruise to Greece. And because we canceled our cruise to Greece, we're now looking at cruises like the Quantum of the Seas or Ovation of the Seas. But I want to make sure you guys take into account that even after the lockdown, cruise excursions and local businesses and local companies, I wouldn't expect a large discount like you may have seen in the past unless you bring a large group. And even then, I think the discount would be minimal. I just want to encourage you to change your perspective a little bit and just accept that, hey, cruising's back. We just got out of an awful lockdown and they're opening and they're going to charge based on demand. And if you can't meet that demand, maybe start saving a little bit in advance and preparing and start deciding which portion of that Alaska cruise means the most to you. Make sure that you're properly saving up for that cruise excursion. Don't expect a discount. If you're looking for something like glacier trekking, maybe start looking into it now. That way you can book your spot in advance, because once these things go, it's really hard to get an opening spot. Alaska sailings are such a pinnacle, in my mind, cruise experience. Typically, a lot of those excursions are packed, they're full, and when they go, they're gone. And so I want you guys to make sure that you're properly prepared. And if you are sailing to Alaska, this is not something you wait for a cruise deal for. And sure, cruise deals could pop up. I'll be clear on that. They could pop up, but the chances, in my opinion, are looking a little bit slim to none. Before we continue on with Alaska, I just want to invite you guys to subscribe to the channel. Griff and Alyssa here in the new studio. Things are being built. Everything's new around here. And even though this is not the final set, I would like to consider ask you to smash the thumbs up button if you found anything in this video insightful or helpful for your cruise vacation. And if you do enjoy cruise content, cruise live shows, cruise vlogs, cruise tips, this channel is going to be full force and focus on that. And I would invite you guys to subscribe for future content. Let's jump back in. Now, I wanted to talk about a little bit of cruise hacks of what things that Alyssa and I do when we try to get an excursion outside of the obvious approach of us leveraging a little bit of our success and audience on our channel to help present content for you guys on things what to do in exchange for a discounted rate. We're gonna do this as an approach of what would Griff and Alyssa do if we didn't have a YouTube channel, we didn't have a lot of money, and what excursions would we do if we wanted to go out in Alaska and have some fun. And so some of those tips are actually doing a little bit of a local tour. And you're like, Griff, you just said you wouldn't spend a lot of money. No, I'm talking about a really hyper localized tour. A lot of these companies that are at the top on the first 2 or 3 pages, they tend to swallow up a lot of the bookings. And if you book directly through the ship, you're looking at a large amount of people in that cruise ship excursion with you. And so if you want something a little more local, it's not a bad idea to actually reach out to some of the companies on the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th pages of Google. Sure, they may not have the highest recommendations, they may not have the marketing dollars to promote their company, but it doesn't mean they're a bad one. Try to form your own experience and figure out if there's a way for you guys to work together and explore Alaska, which speaks to my next point, exploring Alaska on your own. For the most part, as long as you don't do anything unsafe like going out in the wilderness without paying attention to the obvious signs of the wildlife such as bears and other animals, be safe, go for a walk, explore the town, meet with the locals. Another good way is to go on Instagram, and this is a little bit for the demographic that likes to explore and go a little bit further. We have DM'd locals and people in the community to see if they'd be willing to kind of walk us around and check things out. That's also a really fun way. If you have friends and family or friends of family who live in Alaska, that's also a good way to explore the town. Buy them a drink, buy them dinner, explore, do a food tour. These are really inexpensive ways to explore Alaska without coming out of the budget with just tons of money. And I totally get it. But also have the perspective that if you do spend your money with one of these local tours, you are supporting the economy, you're supporting them, you're supporting their families, which is also good as well. Now, for whale watching, I wish I had larger whale watching tips for you, but from my experience, you are going to have to work with someone who is absolutely professional and exceptional when it comes to finding whales. We have always used a professional to take us to certain locations to see those whales. If you go check out Ship Show's video, they had an awesome whale watching experience. It's totally possible. Some people say you just go and you wait, but it is really beautiful. It's majestic. It's one of the coolest experiences that I've had, and I would strongly recommend if you can do whale watching and it fits your budget, go try it out. Now, I said if you waited all the way to the end of this video, I would share with you guys one of my favorite Alaska cruises, and spoiler alert, it is Encore. It was the Norwegian Encore. Let me tell you, the food on that ship, which is absolutely incredible, is what makes it outweigh the Ovation of the Seas. And even though I am a diehard Royal Caribbean fan and I'm wearing a hat, I did enjoy that cruise. Alyssa would go as far as say it's one of her favorite ships. The shows were amazing. They have a go-kart, they have laser tag, they have, again, the shows are just absolutely incredible. I think it's called Choir of Men. Absolute stand-up ovation from us. It was incredible. And if you're sailing on the Encore, you have a lot to look forward to. But if you're sailing on the Ovation of the Seas, no worries. You're going to have a good time there. But because my research is not done, we are strongly looking into Quantum of the Seas to Alaska. But as always, if you dig the vibes, please subscribe. And if you care, please share it. And we'll see you guys in paradise in the next one. Peace.